Hi everybody, it's Jenny. I am on a eternal diet journey. So be it. Such is my life. I was thinking about it the other day, and I met a girlfriend of mine who is, she's about this wide in her hips. Like she's just a small, tiny person. And she's about 8 years older than me. So small, so tiny. She looks like she just has natural testosterone too. Like she almost has like man hands, but she's thin and she looks muscular. And she always has her whole life. And she was saying, "Oh, I haven't been to the gym in like a year and a half and all that." So it's not like she's just doing a whole bunch of bodybuilding. It's just the way God made her. So it made me start to reflect on the fact that, wow, God did make us all different, didn't He? So your weight loss journey is not the same as my weight loss journey. You doing HCG is not going to give the same results as me doing HCG. And our bodies change over time, right? Me doing HCG 8 years ago is not going to yield me the same results as me doing HCG right now. All right, and I just use HCG as an example. You can fill in whatever diet you want in that situation. Intermittent fasting used to be great in terms of seeing the numbers all just like really go down. And now it's slow going. I'm like still in my early 50s, but I feel like with each year it's doubling how difficult it is for the weight to get off. Um, but it is what it is. You know what? I'm up, I'm moving, I'm otherwise healthy. I know I have more fat on my body than I should, and this big bulky sweater that I got in the Amish country one year is not helping. I got it actually I think I got this after my appendix ruptured and I dropped 17 pounds. Um, and I was really skinny. And this big, fluffy, fun sweater was cute and fun when I was, 20 pounds lighter than I am now. Now it's just putting a big, fluffy sweater on top of a body that is big and fluffy to begin with. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. We're all good. We're fine. I wanted to say that if you've been following, I had numbers in January, like the second week of January when I started dieting, that were like within 5 pounds of where my COVID numbers were. My COVID numbers were higher than ever, higher than when I gave birth, that when I walked into the hospital with a baby giving birth to my first child. I don't remember my weight on my other two, but I do remember my weight on the first one, just because it was the most significant. And the first time you see the scale go, what? Higher than that. Higher than that. By like 10 pounds higher than that. So probably higher than what I went in to give birth with my second child, too. And probably close to what I did with my third, because with each kid I kind of gained 10 pounds that I didn't lose. An additional 10 pounds, I should say. So, yeah, there was a time I was skinny. Anyway, it's fine. Um, I was looking at my numbers today, and I just wanted to go over what I'm doing. So, I'm not doing HCG, and again, someday I'll get a video and put it all together explaining why. But I don't want the HCG in my system right now. So, what I decided to do is start kind of eating like I'm on HCG ish, modified HCG with the 800 calorie diet. Kind of is what I was focusing on. So, what I've been doing is having intermittent fasting, essentially making it an OMAD diet, 1 meal a day, OMAD. Um, and then, but maybe having a small snack afterwards, like within an hour of it. So my eating window, I give myself a 4 hour eating window. It's probably only 2 hours if I'm honest. And I really try to stick with the intermittent fasting to an OMAD diet where it's just 1 meal and then I stop. But sometimes, like last night, I just felt like I wanted more. So, um, my numbers were good. I lost 10 pounds, maybe a little bit more than that. Maybe it was closer to like 12 or something. I'm not going to go look at it now and waste your time. And then I did a weekend retreat for 4 nights, 5 days, right? No, 3 nights, 4 days. Um, and I gained 9 pounds back. No, I think I lost 10 pounds and then I gained 9 pounds back. So I was really just a 1 pound loss by the end of January, which was devastating. Now, I knew some of that would come off fairly quickly because I could feel the water retention from the saltiness of the foods and the carbs that were eaten over that weekend. And so I knew that would go away. But then it was kind of slow going. I lost that. And then, really, for the past 2 weeks, I've been at a stall, essentially. N- Not really a stall because I have been losing. No, no. For the last 2 weeks, I've been at a stall. So, for about a week to a week and a half after that retreat in January, I was doing good. And the numbers were coming down. They were going slow. It was point 0.2, zero point 0.3, zero point 0.1. Every now and then there'd be a day that was, like the same, no loss, no gain, though. And then I would say well, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In the past 12 days, I have lost a pound. So it feels like 2 weeks of a stall. Um, but it's not a complete 2 weeks of a stall. It's only 12 days, Jenny. It's only 12 days. And you did lose a pound in those 12 days. So the numbers have been kind of staying about the same recently. Today was the first day that I felt like, okay, we're starting to move again. It was like a point 0.4 loss. Um, so we're back on track. It goes to show you that when you're on HCG and you have stalls, you just think, what? On God's green earth, I'm barely eating anything. Why am I having a stall? This is not right. Well, you know what? In regular diets, it's the same thing. I'm definitely staying under 1,000 calories a day. My goal is to be around 500, but make it healthy, but really it's about 800. I'm not trying to deprive myself at all. And that's kind of the amazing part of this, is that because I am eating HCG foods with a little bit of cheating. I might throw a salad dressing on there that's not completely HCG approved, but it's no sugar added, but it'll have a little bit higher fat content. The carbs will be really low, but then there might be like higher fats. So, so, but you know what? If you followed my channel at all, the last few times I've done HCG, I've kind of eaten that way anyway, because I just thought if I'm really unhappy and angry while I'm doing this and really feeling like this is such a sacrifice, I'm not going to be able to make it through the entire month, or longer. So, shockingly, without the HCG drops, I'm able to eat now this amount. Now, the HCG drops, in theory, if everything works as it's supposed to, and I'm not saying it doesn't, I still have HCG drops here I could be taking. I'm just not, for other reasons and blood works and things like that. But it's supposed to go more to your fat reserves. So if I was taking the drops, maybe I'd be losing a little bit more than I am. Maybe I should start taking the drops. I don't know. I have 2 more weeks before I have to get into a bathing suit, and I really need to lose about 7 pounds to make them fit. I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll see. I feel like I've kind of gotten over this plateau. Maybe, just maybe, if I stick with it, we'll see. I guess a little bit of the discouraging part in that too is I am definitely walking 7,500 steps a day. 10,000 is always like such a lofty goal that I always feel like I'm falling short, and then I just kind of give up. Or if I see like, oh, I'm only at 5,000, there's no even chance. So you just give up. 7,500 is like that perfect number where it's like, okay, I'm at 5,000. I'm only 2,500 away. Throwing on a below deck show from Bravo and walking in place and watching it for an hour, which is more than enough to then get me over that, get me those 2,500, I find. So that's a recommendation I have for you if you need to get moving a little bit more. But I guess maybe a little discouraging, but it does make me feel better, so I shouldn't really be discouraged. But numbers wise on the scale is discouraging is the fact that I do go to the gym a good 5 days a week. And I do 20 minutes on the elliptical. And then I do another 20 minutes on a recumbent elliptical, and I usually do about 3 weight machines. 2 of them for my stomach, 1 of them for my leg. Um, I don't do arms whenever I really should because we're going to go on a 2 hour kayaking adventure on this trip that I'm taking with my girls. And, 2 people to a kayak, so guess who gets to be by herself or with some stranger? Mom, because the girls are going to be together. Um, and I just don't want to be like the weakling. But nevertheless, I might be because it is what it is. I feel like my goal now, rather than building up arm strength for that 1 2 hour adventure, when I'm sure a lot of it is just going to be, you know, coasting and it's not going to be too strenuous. It's not like it through a rapid river thing. It's out to a lagoon to see this bioluminescence in the water. That's good. So it's all like, yeah, it's not going to be a major kayaking adventure. It's easy, easy. Um, so that's not my goal. My goal is to fit into my summer clothes so that I do not need to buy a whole new set of clothes for this trip, especially because I don't want to buy a whole new set of clothes in this larger size because I don't want to stay this size, especially in the summer. And in the summers, because you're hot and sweating and all that. It used to be because I would also do a lot of walking at Cedar Point and go to their water park a lot. And so you don't eat when you're sitting in the sun all day. That really helped my weight loss. Not doing those passes this year. So, which is sad. But I don't even think my kids are going to be around. And if they are, they're going to be busy during the week. Not that I can't still go just to the water park and relax and go in a lazy river and lay out and enjoy myself at the water park on the days they can't go. But when they can go, it's going to be a weekend, and that's when everybody goes, and that's just not as enjoyable. So I think that's out. Gonna have to figure out ways to not eat and be around my house all summer. That's going to be tricky. I'll figure something out. All right, I'm rambling now. I just wanted you to know what my diet is, which is basically HCG food. I mean, I do the same thing on HCG. I have that low carb tortilla. I think it is 4 net carbs. And then I put shredded chicken that I made with salsa and chunky salsa, so it has some nice tomatoes and green peppers in it, and chunks of onion and chunks of green pepper, so it really feels nice and hearty. Um, and there is a little bit, I mean, there's probably like 5 pieces of corn, but it's enough that like every now and then I get that taste of it, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. That's good. And then I had some green beans in there as well. So a little bit of variety of vegetables. And I put about, I don't know, I never really measured it, but I would imagine it's maybe a third of a cup onto a tortilla and flatten it out. Fold it over, stick it in the toaster oven until the tortilla is nice and toasty, because then it just feels like something you would have gotten from a restaurant. And then I load in 2 to 3 cups, so it's overflowing on the plate. I try to shove in 2 to 3 cups of romaine lettuce, and then about 2 tablespoons of the no sugar added honey mustard Ray's dipping sauce. And that's it. That's what I eat for the day. And it makes me feel full. It makes me feel satisfied. I'm not hungry later on in the evening. Do I want to eat at times? Yes. That's a whole separate video about the difference between being hungry and wanting to eat. But rarely do I even want to eat because I keep myself distracted at night with doing other things. And then I am not hungry the next day until it's time to eat that meal again. I mean, occasionally if I start to feel like it, I'll open my eating window a little earlier. But I mean, basically my eating window starts at around 3 to 7. So rarely do I need to eat before that. And adding in addition to that now on some days, I have a 30 grams of protein, no sugar added, but I'm sure there's plenty of fats, and the calories I think are 160 or 130 or something like that. The Premier Protein drink that I talked about on another video. So I've been adding that too because my protein levels are just low. And I think it's just that I'm not eating a lot of food too, but even when I was coming off of Christmas and all the food I was eating then, my protein levels were low. So I'm just somebody who has to take protein every day. And I'm somebody who has to take iron every day. And it just is what it is. All right. All right. So that's the update on where I am right now. So where are we? We're on today is 22nd of February. I have until March 8th to 2 more weeks to see how much I can lose. So I'll keep you up to date to let you know how after these 12 days of only losing a pound, how things go. Because what I've been doing, I'm going to continue doing. And I don't have it all written out like I normally do, and what exactly I ate on what day and what my numbers are, but there are some days in there that were a little bit of a cheat. One day I did take a friend out for her birthday, to a wine bar that she really likes, and I had a flight of sangrias. So, I mean, come on, not even close to staying on diet. And then we had a flatbread um, that had brie cheese on it and caramelized nuts, some balsamic dripping or something like it. I don't remember what was all on it, but it tasted amazing. And it did not taste like I was dieting that day. So that was a day that didn't go well. Yesterday, I met a different friend for coffee, and I don't drink coffee. So I was looking at the teas and I just felt like I just wanted something special. And so I got myself a chai latte with almond milk. Now, mind you, I looked online, the chai latte with almond milk afterwards, not before, but the chai latte with almond milk did have less calories than the chai latte with skim milk. Go figure. I don't know how that is. I'm not a big milk drinker in general, so I'm not as familiar with it, but I will say it was delicious. And of course, I got the big one. So good. We were there for 3 hours, so I needed the big one to get me through. What else? There was a day here and there where something along that line would come up. Oh, my daughter's birthday. I drove down to Columbus, took her out for her birthday. We went to a bar and grill. I did get a Caesar salad, but we had an appetizer of tortilla chips with a lot of cheeses on it and chicken, a lot of shredded chicken. And it looked nice and hearty, and I ate, you know, a bunch of those chips. Now we both ate it, and then there was leftovers, and I made her. She took all the leftovers. She even took the Caesar salad leftovers, the chicken Caesar salad leftovers. Because there were breadcrumbs in there, and the Caesar dressing was probably really high in fat. So, and she's a starving vet school student, so she took her leftover food, my leftover food, and the leftover nachos, and we boxed it all up, and she has it this week to eat. So I did have some days where I didn't follow. Now, on those days, it still was OMAD, but just I wasn't following the strict protocol. But when I think about like that happening every 5 days, that I have a day that isn't great, but not horrible, not an epic fail by any means, just not as strict. It is a little frustrating that those little things would be what would make it so that I'm really not losing any weight. So we'll see. Maybe I can be really good in the next 2 weeks. I mean, that's my goal, right? That's my goal. Be good in the next 2 weeks, Jenny, and I'll let you know. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what you do in terms of when you have a fail. Um, and I don't know, mine weren't even that big a fail, so that's not what this video is about. It was just telling you what I'm doing. But I'm interested in your journey if you're not doing HCG, and if you're doing intermittent fasting and essentially eating no carb or low carb, and how that works for you. I justify in my brain the carbs that I eat with that are still less than what one apple would be. I know you're not supposed to do that because the apple has different nutrients in it than that low carb tortilla does, and that no sugar added salad dressing. Um, but that's how I justify it. All right, I got to get to work. You have a great day. I hope this was helpful to somebody. And I'll hopefully talk to you again soon before I take off on my trip and let you know how I'm doing. Bye.